I think it's just water. I hope it is.
Okay. Yeah, hello. I'm Ali, and here is Brian. And yeah, he's doing a program. It's called Level 5 Mentoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and today I'm very excited to interview him because we have a lot of coincidences. 2 years and a half ago, we were brought here in Hawaii for the same purpose. We wanted to birth our child here with the dolphins. And then 2 years and a half later, we are at the same place. We're living on the same property.
About 100 feet apart from each other.
Yeah, such a coincidence. So I'm so excited. I have been watching him like growing his business and transforming his life, and he's my superhero, really. Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really excited, and so.
Cool.
Yeah. So, do you want to share with us like how you have changed your whole life, just because of this idea of birthing dolphins, and I don't know whether this has been anything like has brought you here, and then you finally found your place you want to live here, and how you transform your life.
Yeah, ooh, that's a lot. All right, we got 12 hours, right? The short version, and then you can ask anything you want to flesh it out. About 2.5 years ago, I was married, and very interesting. So it opens up a lot of questions for a lot of people, but my wife and I, we've been together for about 8 years at that time, and she was pregnant. And we knew that the marriage was over. We both knew it. We absolutely knew. And when we were she felt like the baby was saying that it wanted to be born here. It's the weirdest thing. I've never heard of anything like it. I live in a pretty strange place where miracles happen all the time. And I know you know it happens a lot here. Something magical about this place. But she felt like the baby was saying, I have to be born there. She was having dreams about dolphins. She was seeing specific places on this island that she'd never been to. She'd never seen videos, never seen pictures. She was dreaming about specific places that we found after we got here.
Oh my gosh, good.
Yeah.
Because this happened to me and Kim and Joy. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like all of us are now in the same area again, 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
So she basically, it got so we had no money. We had been homeless for a while. We had a whole bunch of financial crashes while everybody else was crashing. We did it multiple times. And there's a lot of big story there that has to do with the business that I do and the way I help people now. We don't need to go into that now, but we can answer again questions as they come up. But so with no money and no possibilities, we knew we had to come to Hawaii. We knew we were going to. We just had no idea how, no way to do it. And it got so intense for her at the last minute. She basically said, if we don't move there somehow, if something doesn't open up for us to move, I'm gonna have to get in the water and start swimming because this baby's like pulling me to Hawaii.
Wow,
it was getting so intense, yeah. And so we came here, and a couple miracles opened up that are really amazing. We came here. I knew when we got off the plane, it was like, I ain't leaving. She felt like we were gonna stay for a couple months, and there was no way I was ever leaving the island. And then, so we had our discussion about, we knew the marriage was over. It had been a disaster almost from day one. And we both agreed to end it on a really good note, stay through the pregnancy, and that I was going to be the best dad in the world, and take care of the family despite the fact that we were splitting. And now she and I are actually friends, which we never were during the marriage. We're happy as can possibly be living here. We get to come to places like this almost every day. I bring my laptop down here and work. We're down here with a video camera. Just, hey, let's go a 5-minute ride and shoot a video. So living in heaven.
Yes.
And the last piece, like the transformation. So I was working with a company that opened the door for me to come down here and to move here. And then in about 6 months, that business just started folding up. And I asked, okay, what's next? And I knew the work that I'm doing now, I knew it was what I was on the planet to do, but I never quite felt like it was time. I kept thinking, I've got to be perfect. I got to have all my shit together before I can do it. And the moment came when I woke up one morning and it was quit that company. And I said, okay, I will, universe, but what's next? And the universe kind of laughed and said, you know what you're here to do. Start doing it. So that was almost that's going on like 2.25 years now, roughly. And I started the business, and we've been able to touch about 80,000 people, almost 90,000 people in 83 countries.
Wow.
And just barely getting started. This is just starting to really ramp up.
Yeah, I can see that something really big is happening. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really honored to be interviewing you now.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm
Yes,
so
yeah.
glad to be talking to you.
Yeah,
I love you, Ali.
I love you too.
And that's another thing about Hawaii. We hug everybody all the time. So.
Yes.
And kiss.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
the greeting.
I'm really into this, and I'm really like, now we are like living on the same property, and like I see everyone is like, Brian is such a wonderful guy, everyone loves you, and I'm like, yeah, I have to talk to you and I have to get this interview and let people know how, just maybe the dolphins brought us here and have transformed our life, or I don't know. And I have like also gone through a very big transformation and like really big changes of my life. I also started my own business, and I will need your help.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm really, you're my superhero.
Thank you, Ali.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Happy to help in any way.
Yeah, because you say you have gone through like a divorce and big change, and that's what I'm kind of through now. So I'm like, do you have any advice on that?
Yeah. Okay. So related to going through divorce.
Yeah, like any relationship kind of advice, like this kind of when you like you and your partner are not on the same path, and you want to have a very beautiful kind of like departure, and you still want to relate really good with each other, and how do you kind of have that? Because I see you having a supermodel there, and I'm like, I want to do like find a way and like going through these difficult times.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's narrow it down a little bit tighter. Okay. Because the way to have a really amazing relationship when it's coming apart is ironically it's the same way to have a great relationship when it's together. Transparency and openness, saying what you want and inviting them to say what they want, and really kind of fearlessly. You know what? This is really cool, because I've just got back into some new information that I studied about 8 years ago that really made a big difference in my life. And I've run into 3 people in the last week talking about it, right after I decided to get back into it. It's called nonviolent communication. Are you familiar?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have learned a bit about that.
So like, because of what I do, it's really freaky. Like anyone who gets into NVC is going to have an amazing experience, in my opinion. But with what I do, let me take the butt out. And with what I do, it's even more amazing, because I help people to look at their words and see the words that I'm saying are an indication of what I believe. So there's a lot of like self-help and law of attraction, a bunch of some of it's really helpful and some of it's really crap and really not helpful at all. Some of it's counterproductive. People talk about cleaning up your language. Don't say this word and don't say that word. The way I view it, that's completely looking in the worst place. It's like you want to run faster and you're polishing your fingernails. It's not going to help you run faster, okay? Checking out your shoes, making sure your socks are on right, getting your legs in shape, that's some stuff. Making sure there's no chains attached to your ankles, that'll help you run faster. So I look at language as it's the core. Communication's everything, right? So I'm still on target with your question. I'm just going around the corner to get to it. Okay, so it's communication. What's going to make the ultimate communication? First of all, it's based on the words, and our words reveal what we believe. So often, like we're talking, we're thinking going through our lives, and we're thinking the crap that's holding us back, right? When we go to talk, especially where there's emotional stuff, it's so easy to get upset. If we'll just look at our words and get really clear on what it is that we want, is the first starting point. And then the more we can come back to zero, come back to zero, come back to zero. So you find yourself sometimes communicating with him and there's upset. And you guys are both so loving and peaceful, even for you though, right? Shit happens. Okay, so here's the thing. In every language, in Chinese you say, I won't pronounce it very well, but ni hao, how are you? Right? In almost every language, that's the core question. And in almost every culture, we've gotten in the habit of asking it while we pass the other person by too fast to hear their answer. So NVC asks the question, what's alive in you? It's like a distillation of every language. That ultimate question, when you greet a person for the first time that day, or for the first time ever, what's alive in you? And then once you get that connection of what's alive in you, you actually hear the person. Then the next question is, how can I make life more wonderful for you? Right? That's the core question of MEC. How can I make life more wonderful for you? So if you and he make that agreement, what if you forget all relationship techniques and all relationship information and all complication? Yeah, whoop, 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 wipe it out. And you just, your approach with him, no matter what he does or says. Because I know Wanton is a beautiful guy. I love him.
Yeah.
Great guy, okay? And obviously for some reasons, I don't even know. You know, I know you guys are splitting. We haven't even had that conversation. But that may be what makes this conversation so helpful to people. Like, wow, he doesn't even know the situation, but I'll ask you, what would happen if you made your approach with him starting now? What's alive in you? And he shares and you listen. And then you say, and how can I make life more wonderful? You know what you want. You don't even need for him to ask you the same questions. One person leading is enough to turn the whole thing around. You may find, oh my God, this approach actually brings us back together. Or you may find this approach helps us to completely have peace and come apart. Either way, you're gonna have peace.
Yeah.
You either have peace and find, wow, we can actually get along with this flow. So now with that all out of the way, here's my question to you. What would happen if your approach with him from now on was, what's alive in you? And then you listened till he was done. And then you said, and is there more? And when he was done, you said, okay, and how can I make life more wonderful for you about that?
Wow.
What would happen?
Gosh, that's a difficult question to ask.
Is it?
Because I'm like, I don't want to do anything more because I'm so hurt. And
you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Ah.
You can just understand.
Yeah.
You can just understand. After, here's the thing. There's no need to think that just because you ask him what will make life more wonderful, it doesn't mean you have to do anything.
Okay.
But you'll understand his world a lot better. You can step into his world and actually, oh, I see what he's seeing. And then you can gauge a lot more effectively what you want for you. Because you can very easily say, you know, I'm not interested in doing that. Knowing, because here's what I want. If he shows you he's not willing to hear what you want, you're even more clear about your next decision, aren't you?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
It doesn't require
I'm,
him doing
avoiding,
anything. Yeah, you were avoiding it because you thought that what would happen. But if, what if it doesn't matter what he says? What you tell me is this true. What you want is to be able to have peace within yourself and to be able to deal with him and you still have peace.
Yeah.
You don't really need him to do anything differently. You just want to have peace.
Yeah.
Truly?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm not trying to put it in your mind. I'm asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So now let's get to the bottom of it. So you say, what's alive in you? And he tells you. Part of it, let me ask you this. I'll be a smart ass. In a way, don't you think you already know what's alive in him? Because he's told you so many times, right? That's part of why we don't want to ask. But what about in this moment, something's new? Every moment, isn't this a spontaneous, ever-unflowing river of miracles that's changing constantly? So maybe when you ask this time, the answer will be a little different. And by you caring enough to step up and say, hey, what is it? Now let's make it as simple as it gets. He doesn't care enough to answer you. You're clearer about your next choice. No matter what, the worst case scenario is you're clearer about your next choice. And if he does answer you, you understand what he wants and what he sees and what he feels better, and you're more in a clear space to make your next choice of how to respond. You can't lose.
Yeah.
And you can't get pulled into anything.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So wise piece of advice.
And so simple, so simple. This always works, it can't fail.
And I'm taking advantage of asking a lot of advices.
Good.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be an interview, but you actually wanted to ask advice.
Like,
Very smart.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I am wondering lots of great questions. Like I'm sure lots of people are going through now, like because of this big energy transformation, and everyone's like, almost all my friends and people like friends around like are having like either job loss or divorce or breaking up or whatever. So it's like I feel it's a lot of big things happening, and we are like on the wave of having to deal with lots of big changes. job-wise or relationship or anything like that. So I'm just tackling like the like top issues. So that was the relationship, and I'm thinking, okay, job. You know, I have like 3 degrees, and I had, you know, one of the best degrees in the world, and this experience of working with dolphins, although I didn't really, you know, do that, but just this idea and this whole thing that brought me here really transformed my life, and I feel quite passionate about it. That's why I'm like, I want to come back and I want to do this, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel very passionate about it. So I am really, yeah. So, yeah, you know, like when people start, you know, getting out of the rat race or the box, and then when they want to do a new business or, you know, do what they really feel passionate about, do their dream job, but then they still quite not get it yet. Like how, you know, what's your advice on that?
Okay, this is gonna maybe seem too simple, maybe too generic. Most people have a really hard time believing this. Okay, so I'm gonna give a little evidence. All right, I made and lost. Okay, so I came out of life, out of childhood. I had for the first 16 years of life, I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt, physical, mental, and emotional pain was a guarantee for the first 16 years of my life. Most people would say abuse, you know, abusive childhood, whatever. 16 years, and so my self-esteem was very, very low. And then I started making money, but I had self-esteem that said you can't have money. Now I'm going to jump forward and I'll come back to the story. I have now worked, like I said, with tens of thousands of people all over the world, from billionaires to penniless, homeless, everybody, male, female, every race, you name it. And from the billionaires to the homeless, I've interviewed over 20,000 people in the work that I do. I did these weekly webinars, and I would poll several really hard questions of people, and I found that over 90% feel hopeless, frustrated, and stuck most or some of the time. 90+%. In some groups, 96%. Feeling that over 90% had problems with money, and this is crazy. Multimillionaires and billionaires and people with no money said they had money problems. It was either problems getting it, or problems being happy with it when they have it, or problems keeping it. It's almost universal, okay? And we could go into conspiracy theory, you know, there's some weird stuff in the world about money. If you start going down those rabbit holes, okay, the good news is you don't have to understand any of this crap to get what I'm about to say. So I generated $161 million in 70 different industries for dozens of businesses. And that sounds so, sounds like bragging. No, I made and lost money 7 times. Ended up homeless. I couldn't make money for almost 4 years. I couldn't make any money. Homeless, as bad as it gets, hopeless, almost killed myself. I was really ready to end my life. And so when I started doing this business, guess what one of the biggest issues people ask for help with? Okay, so let me say this. When I had my breakthrough, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Just,
Yeah, good. We can see better. Yeah.
Kind
okay.
of. Yeah.
Okay. So when I like to really connect with the person when I get to this part of my story. So here's what happened. I found myself in the most hopeless situation imaginable. And in that situation, I had the biggest breakthrough, this true miracle. Homeless, living in a one-room hotel, not knowing where my next meal or how I was going to pay for the next night in the room, day after day after day for months. And when the breakthrough happened, within 8 days, I was on an all-expense-paid cruise for 8 days with a multi-million-dollar company that put me out as almost like an overnight celebrity to where I was sharing this high-level information with some of the biggest internet experts in the world. I did that for a few months, and as I say, the company started to unravel, and then I started this business, and it's just been like this explosion of what I'm doing, helping thousands of people. Everywhere I went, I was helping people even before I started the business. I have worked with one person. Out of the nearly 90,000, I've worked with one person that I couldn't help, and they just literally didn't want it. I've never shared this information with anybody, not one person who wanted help, who wanted to make their life work, who applied this information and didn't have a breakthrough. And most of the people that come to me, here's my little bragging minute, okay? The majority of people that come and work with me have already tried everything. They've spent tons of money, tons of time trying, and nothing worked. And then I share this crazy simple advice with them, and if they apply it, it always works. So it's for you, okay? This is awesome stuff. And by the way, my baby who got born here, this is the guy that brought us here who just walked up. Adian, say hello. Can you say hi? You want to say hi? That's good enough. I love you, buddy. You've been swimming, huh?
Yeah.
You can go get back in the water, or you can stay here with us. Which one do you want to do? Stay with Daddy or go swim? You want to stay with Daddy or swim? I'm going to take that as stay with Daddy. Okay. You cold? Can you ask him for a towel? Okay, well, you can be cold. You let me know when you want a towel, okay? So here's how simple it is. You have two choices in your life. And this may be a little weird to some people listening. I don't know how far out spiritual minded you are, but you are secretly an infinite, unlimited being made out of light. Okay? Quantum physics shows if I go down into any cell in your body, if I go down below the atoms, smaller than the electrons, you're actually light blinking on and off at an extremely high frequency. Right? So you're made of light. You're infinite energy just like the universe. So is money. So is gold. So is lead. So is grass. So is the water. It's all vibration, right? And so a lot of people are talking about vibration, but I'm taking it to this ultra simple level. You can only do two things with that infinite energy the way I see it. I invite anybody to find the third way. I would love to hear it, because thousands and thousands of people, so far this works for everybody. You can either focus on what you want to experience, or you can fall into thinking. There's not a third choice. You could meditate. Meditate is kind of going into neutrality, but watch your mind and see if it stops. Even the monk that sits there for 40 years, okay? There's something going on. So you're either going to focus this infinite, unlimited energy, all the knowledge, information, and wisdom that's ever been and will ever be contained in the light, because it's not coming from time, it's coming from eternity flowing into time so we can have this experience. So you are that light that's full of all the knowledge, information, and wisdom that's ever been and will ever be, flowing in time and space to have an experience. Not to finally get good enough to be with God, not to finally get to heaven. You're in heaven now if you choose it, you're in hell if you choose it, and definitely not to work out your karma. That's just another way of thinking. So you're here to have experience. And if you focus that infinite, unlimited power that you have on what do I want to experience. So let's play right now. Do it now. Everybody do it right now. Focus on what you want to experience. I don't care what it is. Brian, do you mean for my career? Do you mean what I want in the moment? Doesn't matter. What do you want to experience? What would you like to experience more of? Just let's play in the moment. What would you like to experience more of right now? Right here. What would you like to feel more of?
You mean to...
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. See, the mind is all, it's okay, I understand, but the mind is like, what do you, no, what would you, how about this? I'll narrow it down to, would you like out of these, love, peace, joy, prosperity, scarcity, misery, or fear? Just pick one. It doesn't matter.
Happiness.
Love. Let's pick love for now. Okay. So, will you close your eyes for a minute? Okay. Go inside your body. Everybody can do this. Go right inside your body and say, I'd like to experience more love, and begin to focus on love. Notice that there's love inside of your body. You might find it in your abdomen, you might find it in your heart. If you tune in your body, it's there 24/7. Love is always here. Let me know when you feel it. Okay, there's the smile. Now feel more. Go ahead, seriously, feel it. I'm taking you beyond the question. I want you to experience it. So feel more love and set the intention, I want to feel even more love. Now watch what starts to happen. You feel amazing, right? Let it expand through your body even more. Let it expand out through your arms and your legs, and just keep feeling that feeling. I want to experience more love. And then notice you start to feel inspired. You start to feel amazing. Every atom in your body is turning into a magnet of love and a magnet for love. Whatever you had chosen to focus on, it doesn't matter what it is. Your body will find, the universe is inside of you. So there it is, waiting for you. All you got to do is tune into it. So you had tuned into fear and upset and irritation. We've all tuned into all this other crap and got stuck there, forgot that we were the one who tuned in. We thought that shit was chasing us. No, we were tuned into it. You choose to feel more love, there it is. Now, let's take it to the business, okay? Choose to feel clarity. If you will, close your eyes one more time. Choose to feel clarity and competence. Let's start with capability. Let's start with clarity. Just set the intention to find clarity inside your body. And notice how it's there. Tell me when you got it. You begin to feel clarity arising to meet you. There it is. Okay, now let it expand. Ask yourself this question. Don't use your mind, use your body. How much clarity is available to me here now? Here it comes. Look at that. Look at that smile. Okay, now feel that. Now add competence to it. I'm competent. I am competent. And let that competence just blend right in and overlap with the clarity. Now here's a question for you. If you allow that to expand even more, will you be more effective at ferreting out what's next and taking actions? If you have more clarity and you feel more competent, will you or will you not find more clarity, more competence at choosing what's next? Absolutely. Absolutely. How magical is that?
Yeah.
Okay, look at that. So the more you,
like,
yeah, right. See the light bulb turn. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I could, and then you get inspired to take the next action. Now watch what happens. When you go into that place of focusing on what you want to experience, your mind immediately falls into place and begins to navigate towards it for you. But when you're not focused on what you want to experience, you fall into thoughts, which notices what is and creates more of that. Oh shit, look at my bank account. Oh no, look at, oh man, and look at, oh, and they don't have any money, and they got everybody with degrees, and nobody's getting any good jobs, and man, I wasted all my time on this degree, and now I'm here in Hawaii, and I still don't know what I'm gonna do, and day after day I keep thinking I'm gonna know what to do, but I still don't know what to do. It's more of this, more of this, more of this, more of this. Am I reading your mind? Yeah. Okay. Is this the first conversation we had since you got on the island? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. So watch the mind. The mind, we're going to focus this infinite power on what we want to experience, or we're going to fall into thought. Mm-hmm. If we fall into thought, we notice what is, and we get more and more and more and more and more of what is.
Yeah.
If we go into focusing on what we want, the mind falls. First we feel amazing. Oh my God, that's worth it alone. But then the mind falls into place to say, oh, you want more of that? I thought you wanted more of the shit that you kept focusing on. If you want more of that, let me help you navigate. Who, where, boom, boom, oh, go left, run into this person, meet this person, make this phone call.
Wow. My gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like,
Scoot back over and get back on camera here.
It's
Yeah.
really amazing, like how I feel like the answer was already there, and I just got my mind kind of losing control and focusing on other things, and
Yes.
then when I refocus again, it's like it's so clear, and why am I doing that?
Right.
It's like
Focus.
Yeah,
So here's the bottom line of it. The whole universe is inside of you. All of it. The whole universe is inside of you. Everything outside, all of us spiritual people, we talk about it all day long. The universe is a mirror of me. There's nothing really out there. It's all in me. And then we look out there for the answer every freaking time. And we don't like what's out there, so we try to change what's out there, and we try to find the answer out there. And we make ourselves miserable. Because imagine this. Walk up to a mirror and you're frowning. So put a frown on, okay? Now look in the mirror. Just play along with me, Allie. So put a frown on and look at the mirror, okay?
Frown, what's
yeah,
that?
just frown, like,
okay.
like not happy. Now look in the mirror. Now pretend that that's a mirror and try to reach out there and change the mirror and get rid of the frown. Good luck. You have to smile, and then the mirror changes. It's the same way with the universe.
Yeah.
Focus on what you want. It'll come up, and then it'll start to show up. Every time. It sounds too simple. The mind hates it. You're right. Thank you.
It's really
So simple.
important. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have heard. Okay, I'll tell you something.